What if you could take the best advice from some of the biggest names in finance, people like Robert Kiyosaki and Myron Golden, and boil it all down into one single actionable plan? Well, that's exactly what we've done. This is your 180-day blueprint to building wealth. Over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through the exact steps from your mindset to your money that could completely change your financial future. Let's dive in.
We're kicking things off with this quote from Robert Kiyosaki for a reason. This whole blueprint, it's designed to flip conventional wisdom on its head. See, for decades, we've been sold one story about how to handle money. But the truth is, the wealthy are playing a completely different game, with a totally different set of rules. This is all about learning their rules.
So here's our roadmap. 4 simple steps. First, we've got to rewire your brain, because that's the foundation for everything. Next, we'll get into the practical skills you need to actually start making serious money. Then, and this might surprise you, we're going to talk about building something boring. And finally, we'll put it all together into what we call the wealth flywheel, a system that just keeps on growing.
All right, let's start with the most important piece of the puzzle. Seriously, before you make a single dollar, you have to change the way you think about dollars. And this isn't just some fluffy, positive thinking stuff. This is about adopting the actual mental framework of the rich, an idea made famous in Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
You see, it all comes down to what drives you. For most people, it's about security. It's that steady, reliable paycheck. And debt? Debt is a 4-letter word, to be avoided at all costs. But the rich mindset? It's not focused on a paycheck at all. It's focused on control, on ownership. They don't run from debt. They learn how to use it as a tool, a powerful one, to buy things that make them more money.
And this right here, this is the core of the entire philosophy. It's so simple, but so powerful. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. That's it. So that car you're making payments on, liability. The house you have a mortgage on that isn't generating rent, that's a liability too. The whole game is just to collect as many assets as you can while getting rid of the liabilities.
Kiyosaki says your financial IQ really boils down to these 5 things. Yeah, step 1 is making more money, sure, but right after that, you got to know how to protect it from taxes, from bad investments. Then you have to budget it so you actually have a surplus. Then comes the fun part. You learn to leverage that surplus to buy more assets. And last, but maybe most important, you have to keep learning always, because the rules of money are constantly changing.
Okay, so you've got the mindset on lock. Now what? Well, you need a high-value skill, something that can generate the kind of cash you need to start buying those assets we talked about. This next part is all about turning that new way of thinking into cold, hard cash.
I love this quote because it just cuts right to the chase. It doesn't matter if you have the best product or the most brilliant idea in the world. If you can't sell it, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. Sales is the engine. It makes everything else go. It is, without a doubt, the most fundamental skill for building wealth. So really, it all boils down to mastering these 4 areas. First, you need to create something people actually want. Then you need to generate revenue. That's marketing to get attention and sales to get the money. Third, you gotta know where to put that money once you've made it. And finally, mentorship. This is the ultimate shortcut, the ultimate cheat code. Why spend years learning through mistakes when you can pay an expert to teach you in a few months?
And this is the secret to great selling, straight from a guy named Myron Golden. People don't buy what your product is, they buy what it does for them. They don't care about the 12-step workout plan, they care about looking great on the beach. You're not selling the process, you're selling the payoff. You sell the feeling, the result, the transformation.
Okay, let's just hit pause here for a second. If you're having one of those aha moments, and this is already starting to click for you, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and drop a comment below telling me which idea has hit you the hardest so far. It really helps us make more of these. And definitely subscribe, because the next part we're about to get into, it's probably the most unexpected piece of this whole puzzle.
All right, let's get into the part that most people miss. When you picture a millionaire, you're probably thinking of some tech genius or a big-time social media star, right? Well, the truth is, a huge number of wealthy people got there through some of the most unsexy, downright boring businesses you can possibly imagine. So, why boring? Because boring is beautiful. Think about it. While everyone else is gambling on the next hot tech trend, these boring businesses are just quietly solving problems that never ever go away. The demand is already there, the revenue is predictable, and the failure rates are way, way lower. They won't get you on the cover of a magazine, but man, will they make you rich.
So just how rich are we talking? Get a load of this number, $2
$2.3 million in a single year. What kind of world-changing, cutting-edge technology do you think is behind that?
Vending machines. Yep, you heard that right. There's an entrepreneur, a former accountant, who started with just one machine that cost him $2,000. 5 years later, he had over 800 of them, bringing in $2.3 million a year. These things are the perfect employees. They work 24/7, never call in sick, and just print cash. That's the power of boring.
And look, it's not just vending machines. People will always need a place to put their extra junk. Office buildings will always need to be cleaned. Landlords will always need someone to manage their properties. We'll always have laundry to do, and big construction sites will always need porta potties. These are not exciting businesses, but they solve problems that are absolutely timeless.
Okay, it's time for the final step. This is where we put all the pieces together into a system, because this isn't about just one smart move. It's about creating a cycle, a repeatable process that builds on itself. It's the wealth flywheel.
Here's how it works. Step 1. You change your mindset. That opens your eyes to see opportunity where others see problems. Step 2. You use that focus to master a high-value skill, like selling, to generate a bunch of cash. Step 3. You take that cash and you buy or build a boring asset that spits out more cash. And then, and this is the secret sauce, you take the profits from that asset and you go buy another asset. Each step fuels the next. The flywheel starts to spin faster and faster, and pretty soon it's generating wealth with less and less effort from you.
And that brings us to the single biggest idea of this entire explainer. If you take away just one thing, let it be this. Income follows assets. The rich get richer because they get this. Their main goal isn't just to get a bigger paycheck. Their goal is to acquire more assets that produce paychecks for them. You have to shift your focus from earning to owning.
So we'll leave you with this thought. The stuff we've talked about today, this isn't theory. These are proven paths that have been making people quietly rich for a very long time. So the real question isn't, does this stuff work? The real question is, for you, are you willing to tune out the hype, embrace the unsexy, and build something boring to get what you really want? If you're ready to learn more strategies just like this one, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching.